Welcome back, folks. And again, I'd like to thank our guests, Christiana Wagner and Lisa Randall, for coming on from the Santa Fe Public Schools to talk about their Go Bond. But now we're switching gears a little bit. I don't know if we're switching to sixth gear, or I think we're switching to sixth gear because I think it's very important. And we're not talking about the Super Bowl you think we might be talking about. There's a play on words with this. It's the soup, as in the stuff that you eat, bowl. And it is sponsored by, put on by the Food Depot here in the city of Santa Fe. And we are joined by Sherry Hooper, who is the executive director for the Food Depot, and distinguished guest, Signe Lindell, City Councilor, District 1. How are you ladies doing today?
Oh,
Wonderful.
Joe, terrific. I mean,
Absolutely.
to be here with you and with my friend Sherry.
Yes.
What's wrong with that, huh?
No. Thank you for coming on, and welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Now, Councilor, I know that you've been involved with the Food Depot for a very, very long time. I know also that your partner too, Maria. Also, she gets into it so much that she also, I think both of you guys do this, for pets too as well, correct?
Yeah, we're very involved. I'm proud of Maria. She recently made the commitment to serve on the board of the Food Depot.
That's great.
And I just want to give a little bit of history about this.
Okay.
Because when I decided to run for council, I was approached by Councilor Calvert.
Okay.
And he said, you know, every councilor gets a free use of the convention center every year. And I've always given mine to the Food Depot for the Super Bowl event.
Yes.
And he said, I wish that you would give that consideration. And I said, well, of course I would give it consideration. I did some research on it, and what I found was that to me is a huge bang for the buck. I mean, how much does the Food Depot try to make on that event?
We usually raise about $60,000 clear.
60,000
that's awesome.
clear, and the number that I've had in the past is that for every dollar, 4 meals are provided. So that's almost 250,000 meals out of that event.
Absolutely.
So with that, what is the Super Bowl? What is it exactly?
I'm going to let Sherry talk about that.
Well, it's a benefit for
Okay.
the Food Depot, as we know. But what we do is we encourage local restaurants to participate and really come up with a really good creative soup
Okay.
that they can put up for competition. So we have 30 restaurants joining us in the 23rd year of this event on
Okay.
January 21st.
Okay.
And those restaurants will compete in one of 4 categories. It's savory, cream, seafood, or vegetarian. All right, so those
good.
4. And please know that many of them have said they're providing a soup that anyone who needs gluten-free or dairy-free, all of those things, that's taken into consideration. So
Okay.
there will be some soups there.
Okay.
But our guests then, when they've paid their gift to go towards feeding hungry people in northern New Mexico, they're given a ballot, and they go around and you can sample all of those 30 soups. In addition, we'll have Olive Garden there giving out desserts. We'll have Starbucks there with coffee and tea. And then they sip those, they place their votes at the table. And then all of the restaurants will participate in the overall best soup competition.
Gotcha. Judges? Do you have judges?
Well, no, the guests are the judges.
Oh, the guests are the judges,
Yeah,
right.
absolutely. The judges
Okay.
we do have will actually judge the best decorated tables.
Gotcha. So you mentioned that this takes care of northern New Mexico. How many people, because Food Depot is kind of like, they're the Food Depot.
Right.
And smaller organizations will come to you guys to get food to disperse out, distributors, if you will. They're not, I mean, they would be the people that actually will take this food out to the needs the families that they have listed that might need that they need food, or right? Is that correct?
That's
Is that the
exactly
way?
right.
All
I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
The Food Depot is a food bank.
Yes.
So what we do as a traditional food bank is we provide food that we've received in donations, that we've purchased,
Yeah.
all of those things. We provide that to nonprofit food programs.
Yes, that's what I was looking for.
So they
Sorry.
are
Thank you.
emergency food pantries. We provide food to soup kitchens, to homeless shelters, domestic violence shelters, youth programs, senior centers, daycare centers. Really, there's a large variety of nonprofits that turn to us for their food needs.
Yes.
And we are doing that with about 145 programs,
Okay.
and it's in 9 counties in northern New Mexico.
Wow, wow, that's awesome. And you know, we had Roland Jones, Rolling Jones or Roland Jones. He's a fire department guy, and he's the guy that runs the, you know, some the toy drive for the. And we were talking about this, that you know, people always feel like they want, you know, feel more giving during the holidays, right?
Absolutely.
But hunger. People aren't just hungry during the holidays. They're hungry throughout. There's people that are hungry, children that are hungry all year round, and we have to think about that. And I think you know, I know you guys are always doing that. It's a year-round thing for you. So just a comment, a personal comment making that, right? But
well,
isn't that
again,
true?
you're making the greatest points,
Yeah.
because that is true. Hunger is with us year-round. Here in Santa Fe, we see that nearly 20,000 people are hungry, or as a lot of people now are referring to them as food insecure.
Yeah.
But let me tell you that 6,600 of those are children.
Yes.
And we do have some programs that directly address child hunger, like our after-school meal program, or a program it's called Lunchbox Express, where we serve meals to kids through the summer months when they're away from school. So we do have those kinds of programs, but all in all, it's a really severe problem in Santa Fe, and it's surprising for people to hear that.
Yeah, no, it is, and it was for me a couple of years ago. I mean, you know, I'm usually the guy behind the camera. I'm not the guy in front of the camera. So it's like when I ask these questions, is there a hunger problem still in our day and age? And the answer is yes, absolutely there is. Okay, so what's raised from this will go and help fund the Food Depot as to the needs that you guys have. Has your demand increased over the years? Is it always increasing, or is there ever a time where it kind of stays flat? What is that? Does that happen?
Well,
Is
you'll
there
remember.
trends? Is there trends? You know, I mean,
certainly there is.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
What we saw, when the economy really took a
Yeah,
downturn in
yeah.
about 2008,
I remember that.
we saw an increase of about 30% of the number of people starting really seeking help from us and from the agencies we serve. And we have not really seen that decline. So we've maintained that increase, unfortunately. And in northern New Mexico, there aren't, the many things that would help lift people out of poverty, like good jobs, excellent education, those kinds of things. So we're not seeing a decrease, unfortunately. And the partner agencies we work with report to us each quarter, and they report helping anywhere between 60 and 70,000 people each quarter.
Wow.
We would be remiss to not say that we have some local businesses that are just unbelievable in their donations to the Food Depot.
Absolutely.
I mean, just they're behind the scenes. They're not looking for their own self-aggrandizement.
Yeah.
They just quietly do these donations on a regular, all the time basis. And Sherry knows who those folks are. I know who some of them are. But we have some businesses, bakeries in this community that are absolutely astounding in how they quietly give in this community.
No, I would assume that it is a community thing where everyone has to step up, and businesses, they play a big part of this. So how can people help? I think that's, I want to go back to the Super Bowl a little bit, but let's get, I think that's very important.
Yeah.
How can people help? People that are watching this, how can they go about saying, I want to do something, what can I do?
There are so many ways to help.
Okay.
First, giving their time.
Okay.
If they have time to give and are able to do that. both the Food Depot and the other nonprofits in town love to get that kind of support.
Okay.
And last year our volunteers clocked in enough hours, we would have had to hire 11 full-time staff
Wow.
to do what they did for
Wow,
us.
that's
That
crazy.
shows you the impact of volunteering your time.
Yeah.
A financial contributions always, as Councilor said
Yeah.
earlier, $1 equals 4 meals. So you can, your impact with just a small donation is incredible.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally, food drives are very important to us. Food drives, community food drives, we really count on those to bring in food donations that we maybe don't receive from our other sources.
Yeah.
And as Councilor was saying too, those businesses in town that help us, all the local grocery stores, we pick up every single day
Oh, wow.
from those local grocery stores. And it's amazing. We couldn't
Yeah.
do what we do, and it takes more than a city
Yeah.
or a village, I guess,
Yeah.
is what it is.
Yeah.
But it's amazing to me to see the numbers of people lining up to help because they're very concerned about hunger.
That's great to hear that, that there's, you guys are getting the support. And it's, I was going to say Linda Flatt, she's a guest a couple of times
Just
on
gonna
she
talk
always
about
comes
that.
out and she
Yes.
talks about their
Our neighbor to
Neighborhood.
neighbor.
neighbor to
Yeah.
neighbor, and
Food
yeah, I've had her on a
drive,
couple times
yes.
on the radio, so.
Hugely successful
Oh,
drive
yeah,
this year. I mean,
absolutely.
Linda worked so hard on that, and her enthusiasm for it is just absolutely infectious. I mean,
is.
Yeah.
it's like, how would you say no to that, and why would you want to?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, exactly. And, one point that she always brings up that, yeah, you can go out and buy stuff, but the Food Depot knows what they need, what they need of. So, I mean, if you can donate something as far as, a check or something, that helps out because they know. And we might have, 1,000 cans of beets or something, but we don't need beets. We need carrots and green beans. You guys would know that stuff, right?
I'll tell you what, though, they are so creative at the Food Depot. I mean, I went over there one time. Maria and I volunteer at the Food Depot, and we went over there, and there was one of the cold storage areas, and I think it was rutabagas.
Oh, yeah.
That, I mean, you had like hundreds and hundreds of pounds. Some truck had broken down, and they're like, yeah, we can use those, and they find a way to distribute and let people know how you use this product, and they're creative.
What do you use rutabagas for?
I don't know the answer to that.
No,
Thanks for bringing that up.
No.
Well, I mean, I
don't either.
I mean, they're kind of like turnips. I mean, you
Yeah, I
can
guess so,
do
like a
them kind of. I
Make
mean,
mashed potatoes,
yeah,
mashed
kind of,
rutabagas out of them?
That's exactly
Like a
right.
cauliflower type
or
thing?
you take them and mash them up and put them in with mashed potatoes and make that meal go further.
Make it further.
She
That's pretty
mentioned
cool.
that we're creative. That means the staff's creative.
I
I'm
gotcha.
not so much.
I
well,
gotcha.
with the cooking.
Sherry has, on a national level, set the example for how food depots or whatever other communities call themselves. Sherry's a nationally recognized figure in how she, not just her creativity, but understanding the business of feeding people.
Gotcha.
And, we're pretty darn lucky in this town. This Food Depot is phenomenally successful. And one of the reasons it's so successful is that it's part of the community.
Yeah.
And you don't operate in a vacuum. When you get people to come in and volunteer, that's when you make a successful organization, because then they're a part of, and that's what keeps it going. So many people, you meet with them and you say, oh, I saw you at the Food Depot. And that's huge.
Yeah.
That's a huge, it's when Maria and I started volunteering over there, it really expanded the number of people that we know in this town.
Yeah, I bet you did.
So
No, absolutely. So volunteer. If you wanted to do,
it's fun work.
go beyond your boundaries for a New Year's resolution. Food Depot would be a good thing because you'd be helping people out, helping them out and getting things organized. So
That's exactly what President Obama said last night. Go past your boundaries.
there you go. I
Thanks.
didn't even watch that. I was working. I was working.
Good.
Yeah, I was
See,
working.
you're so good,
No,
Joe.
no. I don't want you to think I was, yeah, I came up with that all by myself. No,
That
I'm
was
kidding.
good.
So, okay, so let's get back to the Super Bowl. All right, so who won last year?
my gosh, who
Do you
did
remember?
win last
Was it a
year?
crab bisque that won? And does she taste them too?
I
'Cause-
taste every
'cause I'm sure
one.
you're seafood, right? You'd be able to know.
I taste every
Okay,
one of them. I
okay.
mean, I go hungry and I leave full.
Any favorites? Can I
well,
put that on?
Ter-
Give me a
Tara-
couple so you don't alienate anybody there.
Tara won one of the categories last year from the Four Seasons.
Dinner for two.
Yeah, a dinner for two. I mean, it's every restaurant not every, but an awful lot of restaurants in town love this event. They show up, and believe me, they're competitive. They
No, I
bring
bet you they
their
are.
A game.
Yeah.
And Sweetwater Harvest Kitchen.
That's who won last
That's who
year.
won
That's
last
right.
year.
Okay,
They're
what
great.
did they
They're
have?
back this year.
I can't remember. They
I
had
wish
a
you would have told me.
gluten-free.
You could ask.
No, I was just kind of wondering. I just wondered.
Apparently, it was delicious.
Yeah, no, I got you. I'm surprised Olive Garden's not bringing their 3 soups.
Oh, they're-
Pasta fazool, the minestrone, and then the, I don't know the other one. But
they're
yes.
bringing dessert, which
Yeah,
is
that's good.
very, very kind to them.
It
I
is
mean,
very
that's
nice.
tremendous.
Yeah, no, I got you.
Last year was tiramisu, if you like that.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I
good
worked,
stuff.
that was my college, when I was in the Navy, and also when I was in college, I worked at Olive Garden all
for
those years.
you.
That was kind of like, that's where I met my wife and stuff, so
Very nice.
I kind of have a place in my
You
heart
know
for
how
Olive
you
Garden.
know how to cook that food, don't you?
No, I don't. I was, actually, the first gig I got there was making pasta. But anyway, that was when they used to make the fresh pasta.
Sure.
Yeah, that was me.
Those days are probably gone.
That's-
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
Okay, so this is happening
Yes.
January.
So the Albuquerque Journal
Okay.
will present the Super Bowl on Saturday, January 21st.
January 21st.
We will open the doors at noon.
At
It
noon.
runs to 2:30.
Okay.
The voting will stop at 2 o'clock. So
Okay.
get there early enough to taste all the soups and place your votes.
Okay.
And I will announce the winners right about 2:30 that day.
2:30. Awesome. That's great. Are you going to be there?
Are you kidding? I'm going to be there early. Let me just say that I know that there are other events in town that day.
Yeah.
There's a women's march, but I am here
Oh,
to
yeah.
tell you, you can do both events. And I think that it's
That's good
important.
that you say
Yeah,
that.
trust me, you can do both events. I'm going to be at both events.
Okay.
And, you know, they're both downtown. You can go from one to the other. But this is an event not to miss. I mean,
Yeah.
the opportunity to taste 30 different soups.
Mm-hmm.
And believe me, these guys are competitive about this.
And oftentimes, a good soup will end up on their menu
Their menu.
afterwards. Absolutely.
Yeah, no. One last question, and because we already talked about favorite soups, what do you guys go for? Are you a vegetable bisque? Are you a clam chowder person? What would you say?
Well,
What do you prefer?
you know, I usually go to the creamy soups.
Okay, creamy
You know,
soup.
being a farm kid, I like that
Gotcha.
milk-based soup.
Gotcha.
Good filling, yeah.
What about you, Sharon?
I'm
What do
the
you-
same.
Same?
I'm the same.
Yeah, I'm a clam chowder guy myself.
Yeah.
I love a good clam. My dad used to make a really good clam chowder growing
Yeah.
up, so. But unfortunately, it's an unhealthy clam chowder, so I don't get much
It's
of that
just one
anymore.
day,
As
right?
yeah,
Come
exactly.
on.
Yeah, no, exactly. I got to tell my wife that it's just one
right,
day.
just one day.
She said, well, if you have it every day, it's just one day, and that equals 5 days.
right,
Anyway, you know, so we'll see. But
Joe, thanks for
No, thank you
allowing
guys.
us to come over and talk
Appreciate it.
about this event. It's really
It is.
important to this community. This is the Super Bowl's big fundraiser of
Yep.
the year, and it's just a great display of community. I guarantee you, go to this event, you're going to see your friends and your neighbors there, and it's a lot of fun. Thank you, Sherry, for all you and your staff do in this community. I don't know where we'd be without you.
Well, and thanks to the city of Santa Fe and to Councilor Lindell for her support of this event. But the city is such a good partner to us, and I'm so grateful for that.
that's great to hear. More information of anything we talked about here, go to thefooddepot.org,
Yes.
thefooddepot.org, and you can find all this info that we talked about, not about our personal lives, but about what we talked here about the Super Bowl and about what the Food Depot does. So
Thank you.
please check that out.